What is the plan that we had to compare this particular grid? Where we left yesterday in terms of this?
You said I should look at the videos for that, and I'll get the answers from there. You were going to put in the rest of the categories.
Yeah, correct. So what you do, maybe just to give you some pointers, you can take the parameters or attributes as product backlogs, sprint backlog. Maybe you can take something on cadences or ceremonies. That could be one thing. Cadences or ceremonies. Okay. Um, Fine. So you do one thing. You look into the videos or the YouTube recordings, and then see what can be done in terms of the parameters, and then you start filling this particular grid, comparing against these particular
only 3 parameters.
No, these are the parameters which actually come to my mind for no compare. Okay, see when I say product backlog, how is product backlog handled in this Scrum of Scrum? How is product backlog handled in this SAFe? So you need to write it here.
Yes.
Okay, for example, let me give an example. If you are taking SAFe, at the portfolio level, you have a portfolio backlog. At program level, you have program backlog, and you have a team backlog, right? So, like that, you need to prepare a grid. Now, for example, it will contain mostly portfolio level. It is going to contain epic and sub epics, and in the program layer, it is going to contain features. And here in the team backlog, it is going to contain user stories. Something like this, you need to fill for one particular parameter or attribute across all the frameworks.
Indeed. Well, I was hoping you could help me with some more parameters apart from those 3.
For parameters only, I was asking you to look into the recordings and start getting the thought.
Okay.
Look into the recordings, you will get some more thoughts, and you can keep adding. You can add a couple of parameters more, fill the grid, and then we will see what can be done next. See, the point is simple. I am actually trying to give you an integrated knowledge by actually filling a grid like it, in this manner. Okay, then what about the next two questions? ADKAR, organization change management. You can take ADKAR, Carter's. Okay, 1 second, wait. Carter's 8-step change management model, Levin's model, polarization, platinum exchange roadmap. This can be taken. If they're asking you coaching model, then you can talk about grow. All these things are explained in the recordings. You need to go through the recordings, and then you can take the knowledge from there. And these models I have explained in our sessions also at Coranda.
The one that's new to me is the Lewin's model.
Levin's model, right? Yeah. Okay, you are asking this one, Levin's model. Correct?
Yeah.
See, Levin's model is something. If you have something in a freezing state, first you need to unfreeze it, and then you need to refreeze it.
Okay.
So what it means is, let us take a simple example. You have an ice cube. You do have an ice of a cube format, ice cube. Now, if I want to change this, if I want to change the structure of this particular the ice cube, I cannot change it directly. So what I need to know, first I need to melt it. First I need to allow it to melt. Okay, allow it to melt, and then you melt to become water, and then you take the water and
refreeze it
and pour it into a different mold of a different shape.
Yeah.
Mold of a different shape, and then you refreeze it. So what he is saying is that first you need to unlearn certain things before you begin to relearn certain things. This is called a Levin's model. This is something which we will use in our organizational change management plan.
Okay. If I ask you, like in practical example of how do you unlearn something?
See, simple example. Instead of doing it, testing at the no, instead of doing testing at the beginning of at the end of the software development life cycle, if you are introducing test-driven development, behavior-driven development, you are now trying to change the thinking, right?
Okay.
Okay. It all comes like this. I'll just explain it in a notepad way. For example, see. 1 minute, yeah. For example, if I am want to change the culture, then I need to change the habits, because a sustained habit
Is a culture.
now I cannot change the habit directly. I need to introduce new ways of working, because only when I introduce new ways of working, some new behaviors will be there. Only when I sustain these things, then it is going to become a habit. So one of the simple example is, instead of viewing testing as a separate activity, we are trying to bring in built-in quality mindset right from the beginning of the software development life cycle itself. Can I see testing as a blended activity to give value? So it is a mindset level change. It is not only a mindset level change, we also need to ensure that we have the technical capability to do all these things. So it is a new way of working, right? Now all these change management models will actually build more credibility to your answer. Rather than arbitrarily talking from a layman point of view, if you start using these industry standard models, your answer will gain more credibility. Let me show you something. In my level 3 artifacts for a level 3 agile mentorship program, I am telling them practically how to implement ADKAR model. For example, see this sheet. Okay, ADKAR model will be explained in the level 1, but how will I get it then? What are all the touch points of collaboration for a change? Okay, so I am okay. Here I am talking about five levers for change. One is the communication plan, sponsorship plan, coaching plan, training plan, resistance management plan, and then practically implementing the ADKAR model. But this will come in a level 3. So I'm just closing it for now. You got it?
Yes.
Okay. Let us keep the ball rolling. Now,
so, Balaji, for me to get true value from you, I have to go to level 3, no?
Yes, obviously, yes.
Okay, cool.
Okay, cool. So
how much is level 3?
I will let you know offline.
Okay.
Okay. See now, what are the other questions, Martin? These things you have created, right? Some answers.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Hmm. 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 See now, what we need to do, no, we need to separate the simple questions from the difficult questions. Yeah.
Okay.
I think, can we do that activity?
Yes, please.
Okay, then I'll do one thing. Let me take the same notepad. Okay, or I'll take one Word document. Wait, because some questions are a bit easy, some questions are a bit difficult. Now I need to have a segregation. 1 minute, wait. 15th July. Review questions and answers. All right, let's take this. See, this much is there. See, here and all, you could have answered to some of the questions, right, Martin? Martin, here
Yeah.
some of the questions are simple, direct, straightforward questions.
Yes.
So when are you going to answer all these things?
I will. Well, let's just, if you can find the ones that are more difficult, I will appreciate that.
Fine. Then let me start from the beginning also once. Wait. I will see what I'll do. I'll take the difficult questions. I'll put it in a notepad separately. Wait,
Okay.
in that Word document. This I have told you. This I have told you. Okay, program predictability. Okay, this is one question which you anyway do and come. Okay.
Okay.
I'll just quickly copy paste it here. Like this, we can go now. Now you need to go through all these models and then come back to me. All right.
Okay.
Okay, this is experience with Agile. To see for this thing, I have intimated you yesterday. Just go through that particular basic flows. What I actually sent it in the Excel sheet, this sheet, right? So just go through only the basic flows. No need to know everything. Okay. All right. Now let's look into this. Then what are the other questions? Using creative and innovative solutions, remove team obstacles. Okay. Now, what is the thought process from your end for this question? Can you share your thoughts?
Let me see the question again, please.
Yeah. This particular question, using creative and innovative solutions, remove team obstacles, delays, defects, dependencies, impediments.
Okay, first question is, why are they there? Why do they occur? That's my first question.
Why means?
How do they occur? What and how was the ramification of them? Do they impact a lot of our systems or work processes? Once I could value that, I could then focus on the ones that are more impact, where the impact is greater.
Correct. So you are actually saying that you will do an impact analysis.
Yeah.
Okay, which is fine. Now you need to understand delays, dependencies, all to kill the flow of a value, or rather at least curtail the flow of value in your task board from left to right. When I say board, it need not be always only team level board. It could be program level board. It could be a portfolio level Kanban board. Now the point you need to understand is when you are doing a retrospective, it could be a team level retrospective, or it could be a PA level retrospective, or a release level retrospective. You need to understand what is the impact of all these things, delays, defects, and dependencies, and accordingly do some process guidelines. Correct? For example, ideally you need to prevent a defect. But if a defect comes into picture, how am I going to handle it? So you need to create a defect management guidelines for this. And I have already given you the guidelines also in the previous class. Now, if there is a delay, whether it is due to internal delay or due to external delay, because sometimes the delay can happen because of the third party vendor or a supplier. In such cases, how am I going to overcome the impact of that delay? By actually creating some kind of a mockups or stubs or some kind of an interfacing mechanism to actually simulate the flow instead of waiting for the actual component. Like that, you may need to think through.
So as a Scrum Master, I have to create those mockups.
No, you no need to create. You need to discuss with your technical lead.
Okay.
See, as a Scrum Master, you need to facilitate the thought process, right?
Okay.
See, now sometimes even when, see, the problem is this, even when people know certain things, only when powerful questions are asked, no, it is going to come out. If not, it will be latent, hidden. So Scrum Master or an Agile coach need to ask powerful questions. Okay, what is this particular delay? Is it an internal delay or an external delay? Because of this particular delay, what is the frequency of the delay? What is the root cause of the delay? Because see, the point is simple. If you had done enough justice at epic and sub-epic level cleanup and feature backlog refinement, all the benefits will start flowing to the team. Now people struggle in the team level ceremonies because they have not done enough justice at a portfolio and a program level cadences.
Question. If you are a team level coach, how can you have impact on the higher levels?
No, you can you see, even a team level coach can participate in the feature backlog refinement.
Okay, but if I notice that at the team level they haven't been handled properly, I will then go to the product coach or the program coach, and then the sub-epic coach, the epic and sub-epic coach.
No, you don't have you don't have epic and sub-epic coach. Yeah, it is called a portfolio level coach. Portfolio coach or the enterprise coach.
So then I will go and face them. Go on, sorry.
No. The point is, see, what you do exactly depends on the landscape. In an interview coaching session, we can only simulate the scenarios, right? So we need to understand why the team level coach is not able to resolve a particular impediment or a dependency. So because even if you go to a program level coach, the same questions will be asked to you. So be in the system, understand the systemic constraints also, and then take a holistic call.
Okay.
So you need to do now the point is now the point is, if you start cleaning up your epic and sub-epic, then what will happen? It will pave the way for your program level cadences. And if you do enough justice at a program layer, it is going to give the benefit to the team level ceremonies. So all are integrated. Now, for example, in terms of the delays, as I have already mentioned, you raise an impediment, you start measuring the aging of the impediment, right? Measuring the aging. How many days this impediment is kept open. Try to get an ETA from the dependent team. All right. Try to get a ETA from the dependent team and also assign this particular impediment to someone to track it. And that person should actually convey the status of this particular impediment in the daily stand-up call.
Okay.
You understood?
Yes.
Something like that. Now, when it comes to dependencies, you need to do like this. Say, for example, I am having feature 1, I am having feature 2, let's say feature 3, feature 4, and here I am having team 1, team 2, team 3, team 4, let's say team 5, team 6, and team 7. Let us take at a program layer. Now, what you need to do is, you need to do some visual thinking. For example, feature 1 has a dependency with team 3 and team 4, right? Maybe I'm not able. Okay, I'll just put it using a different thing here. 1 second, wait. Why don't I put a small symbol here? Right. So team 1 has a dependency with team 2. Feature 1 has a dependency with the team 2 and the team 5. Something like that. You are actually getting the point, what I was trying to tell. Something like that. You create a grid and do the visual thinking. Now, feature 1 has a dependency with the team 2 and the team 5. This you need to find it out at the time of a feature backlog refinement itself, not at the time of product backlog refinement. Right, so that you have a lot of time to address it. So something like this you need to tell in the interview, yeah. Any questions?
Yeah, so when I address the ETA of those dependencies, what next? What is that? You say when I get the ETA of when those dependencies would be sorted or ironed out, what's the next step? Or what do I do next?
Close the dependency. That's all. Dependency is addressed.
I didn't hear you. Mike went funny just now.
See, dependencies means, see, when you do the PI planning itself, you need to have clarity on the totality of the dependencies at a program level board. Right?
Okay.
At a program level, you need to have the dependency clarity. Now, as and when you progress your iterations within the PI, these dependencies should also get a resolved, right? That's my say.
So once I know when the dependencies will be resolved, I can then estimate when the work will be finished.
Based on the dependencies also, sometimes what may happen, even though you are doing a prioritization technique, based on the dependencies also, your features may actually get aligned to a different PI. Let's say there is a dependency, unless and until that dependency has been resolved, I cannot position this particular feature in the PI. So that particular feature will be carried forwarded to the next PI. Ideally, you should not carry forward a feature. See, within a sprint, sometimes whatever stories did not get completed in the sprint 1 may get carried forwarded to the sprint 2. Along the similar line of thought, whatever features or subtopics which are not getting completed within a program increment may tend to get carried forwarded to the next PI. Right? You got it?
Yes, yes.
So why am I giving so importance to delays, defects, dependencies, impediments? Because from an agile project management point of view, okay, forget about agile coaching. Even from an agile project management point of view, unless and until I have a watchful eye on delays, defects, dependencies, impediments, I cannot deliver value to the customer within the specified constraints of scope, cost, and time. So that is why these things become even more important in an agile driven engagement, because you have only 2 or 3 weeks to complete the sprint. Correct?
Yes.
So all these things need to be discussed in the program increment planning itself. So just to give a quick example, here I showed you the PI report out a template to you, right? Sometime back. Even before the beginning of the PI, my team would have completed all these dependencies. See, row number 51 to 69, what are all the dependencies and who are all the team? So, all these activities had been done at the beginning of the PI itself. Okay, see, Martin, I'll do one thing. 1 second. I'll just call you back. Just give me a minute. Okay. I'll just call you back.